Okay, I think we're going to start actually. We've waited a couple of minutes and I think we've got nearly everybody here. So I'm going to introduce myself. So I'm Nicci and I am a bookseller at the award-winning Moon Lane Children's Bookshops. And I am so honoured and delighted to have been asked by Walker Books to present this event with Joseph Coelho, the author and award-winning poet of Zombierella, Fairy Tales Gone Bad, and the most incredible illustrator, Freya Hartas, who has illustrated the book so beautifully and breathtakingly. I'm just in love with the book. We're all in love with the book at Moon Lane. We just absolutely adore it. So Joseph, would you be able to introduce yourself to our audience, please?
Absolutely. My name is Joseph Coelho, and I'm a poet and children's author and author of Zombierella. And I like scary, spooky things. So it was great fun working with Freya and the Walker team on this first in the Fairy Tales Gone Bad series.
Lovely, thank you, Joe. And Freya, would you say hi and introduce yourself, please?
Hello, I'm Freya Hartas and I'm an illustrator and I illustrated Zombierella.
Thanks, Freya. Okay, so now, without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to Joseph Coelho for a performance from Zombierella. It's all yours. Take it away, Joe.
Hi, thank you so much, Nicci. I'm going to start with chapter 3, called The 3 Fake Sisters. On the night of the first ball, a fat yellow moon lay bloated in a satin sky, and Cinderella's 3 beautiful sisters were making her life hell. They were not her real sisters, not even lovely half or stepsisters. They were fake sisters. 3 beautiful fake sisters, daughters of her beautiful fake mother. Not a lovely stepmother, just a fake mother, all smiles and grins in public, but behind closed doors, she was all horns, fangs, and hooves. Cinderella's fake mother had killed her father through nagging, cruelty, and many suspect poison. Cinderella knew death, had known it from an early age, from the early demise of her every pet. Fluffy the dog, squashed flat by a large rat. Simpson the cat ran into an axe twice. Karate, the goldfish, found drowned. Drowned? Drowned. And of course, Lumpkin the horse, who died, of course. Cinderella knew death from the long-lasting, splutter-spewing demise of her mother, her real mother, her biological mother, her cremated mother, whose cinders now sat in a skull-shaped pendant that hung from Cinderella's neck, hence the name her fake mother had pushed upon her. If you insist on wearing cinders around your neck, you shall be cinders by name, Cinderella. Cinderella knew death from her own continuous bouts of whimsy and achy limb. Cinderella knew death and had been hardened by it. Cinderella earned her keep, scrubbing the black from the floors, the scum from the bath, the wax from the ears, collecting the strands of her fake sister's hair that collated in their pearl combs, combs that adorned their vast dressing tables inlaid with silver and dotted with pearls, ruby encrusted and misted with flowery smells, all bought with Cinderella's inheritance, Cinderella's money, left for her by her mother, her real mother, her biological mother. Aww. On this night, the night of the ball, the first choked moon hung in a purple sky, and Cinderella's 3 fake sisters were being particularly mean. They knew that their mother, their beautiful mother with a face like enamel, like marble, like glass, cold, hard, but stunning. They knew that their mother would never let Cinderella leave whilst the house was in a mess. If the black was not gone from the floors, the grime from the bath, the wax from the ears, Cinderella would be made to stay home, to wear her fingers to stubs, bloody stubs from all the scrubbing. Why don't you pick out a nice dress to wear, Cinderella? Flapped Habina, the tallest of the wafer-waisted sisters, with large, beautiful ears that tinkled in the wind. Habina knew full well that Cinderella had just one dress to wear, a dress that she would scrub every evening and wear damp every morning. Why don't you get yourself a nice necklace, something better than those cinders, Cinderella? Droned Storm, the most aromatic of the wafer-waisted sisters, who had hair that dangled past a bottom that had never been wiped. Storm knew full well that Cinderella would never remove her mother's ashes from around her neck. Why don't you pick out some lovely shoes to wear, Cinderella? Phlegmed Laura, the meanest of the wafer-waisted sisters, who had an unusually long tongue. She knew full well that Cinderella did not own nice shoes. The girl barely owned socks. Cinderella owned calluses, hard skin carbuncles. The skin on her heels was so thick and so cracked that woodlice had been known to lay eggs in them. The cracks on her heels were so wide that she could open bottles with them. The cracks on her heels were so deep that her footsteps echoed. Cinderella's three fake, beautiful sisters did not want Cinderella to go to the ball. They wanted the prince all to themselves. So they squirted toothpaste around the taps and the sink, poured rubbish onto the beds, mixed the salt with the sugar, blew their noses on the curtains, and left a slimy, slippery gift at the top of the stairs. For they were beautiful, fake, and foul. Cinderella would not be going to the ball. She had taps to scrub, rubbish to clear from beds, salt to de-sweeten, curtains to unsnot. Her three fake, beautiful sisters smiled sweetly as they sauntered out of the house. See ya, snapped Habina. Laters, droned Storm. You missed a bit, sludged Laura. Cinderella, darling, do make sure the house is spotless before we return, or there will be hell to pay, breathed her ceramic mother as she glazed out of the door. Cinderella, tears jewelling in her eyes, sighed. She wanted to go to the ball, not to meet a prince, just to get out into the world, to breathe in the night air, to see something other than the dark walls of their severe abode, with its square rooms and windows with wire embedded into the glass. She wanted to go to the ball to help her forget the loss of her horse Lumpkin. She never saw the slimy surprise left for her at the top of the stairs by her three fake sisters. A warm, slippery, stinking surprise. Cinderella squelched one foot into it and she slipped. And that's the end of that chapter.
Oh, that was amazing, Joseph. That was amazing. I think I may have known a few girls like that growing up at school. That's absolutely fantastic. It's just so freaky, and oh gosh, all those bugs and mites and dog poo and all that kind of stuff and snot. It's so crazy. I love it. Richard from the Isle of Wight is saying, actually, now we're going to rename where we live the Isle of Fright as a result of.
Oh, nice. I have to visit.
Totally. Right. Well, we've got some questions now that we're going to ask Joe and Freya. So, without further ado, Joe, we have all absolutely adored your previous books, whether it's poetry, Poems Aloud, or the Lunar Loves, beautiful, beautiful Lunar Love series. Why? Why did you want to write a scary, scary book for children?
I've always loved horror and anything creepy and spooky. Halloween is one of my favourite times of year. Hence the skulls, and so it was really kind of finding that the right story to express my love for this time of year and for all things creepy. And so when I sort of came across the idea for kind of reinventing fairy tales with a bit of a grim twist, that I got hooked and thought this could be a brilliant way to get kids engaged with scary horror right for their age. I worked in many schools over many years, and for so long I would have kids in the classroom saying to me, "Oh, do you like zombies? Do you like vampires? Do you like werewolves?" But there was very little that I could talk to them about, which was age right. So I wanted to write something that was appropriate for young people, for young kids who like creepy horror stuff, and to have a lot of fun with it. So that's why.
Yeah. So how do you gauge the level though? Because it was great reading it with my kids the first time, and then seeing the Angel of Death, and like I'm just thinking, okay, this book has got a lot of death, but actually it's really funny, and actually it's a brilliant way to talk to your really little ones. I've got a 5 and a 9-year-old, so it's great to talk a way to introduce talking about death and all that kind of stuff. It was really, fascinating. How did you know though what level of death and stuff like that to put in?
Well, it's taking it from the kids. Like I've literally been working in schools for 18 years, and so you just get to know your audience. So I work predominantly in primary, and I would always be shocked at the things kids would come out with. So it made me realize it's like, there's definitely a market here to kind of push the envelope of just how creepy you can get while still creating a safe, fun, enjoyable space for kids to engage with. So but yeah, the things kids tell me in the classroom, I'm like, what? Or what they write in their own stories can be quite creepy.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. And so you're an award-winning poet. It's so exciting that the whole book is in verse. So how important was this approach to you?
Very, very important. It started off kind of as a more of a performance piece, so something that I wanted to be read aloud and wanted to be brought to life, and it just kind of came that way. It felt like something where poetry could kind of pull out the fun and the enjoyment and the playing with words, and also it enables you to kind of talk about gory or disgusting things, but in a fun, light-hearted way, because the language, I hope, is kind of providing that light-heartedness and that pleasure and that sort of silly fun.
Oh, that's amazing. So Freya, question for you. So have you worked with Joseph before? How did you two get together to collaborate on this book?
This is my first book with Joseph, through Walker Books. I'm not really sure how it came about, actually. You'd seen my work, hadn't you?
Yeah. I was showing like some of your amazing illustrations. I was like, oh my god, just like so perfect. Yeah,
and I had a meeting with some of the ladies from Walker Books, and they were like, oh, we've got this book that's perfect for you. And I remember I took it home and read the manuscript, and I was like, whoa, Walker Books are publishing this, because it is quite scary, but really, really fun and sort of different to stuff I've illustrated before. So yeah.
And how did you work? What was the sort of symbiotic relationship between creating the characters and the scenes? Because it's really heavily illustrated. It's just such a beautiful book. I mean, you've got inside the covers, and it's very much a picture book for older, sort of 8+. It's amazing. So how did you work on that together to develop the characters?
I did do, I'll find them actually. I did character designs, which changed quite a lot for in my sketchbook. They're very, very messy.
Oh, wow.
So that was actually what the sisters looked like at first. So quite different to how they turned out. There's the mum.
Oh yeah, look at her. Wow, and the dog as well. Getting some scrubbing going on there. And the beautiful dress, Freya. What was the inspiration for Zombierella's beautiful dress, all made of leaves? That was just amazing.
Yeah, I mean that was Joseph's idea, but
yeah, just the future in fashion, I think.
I know. I liked adding all the little mushrooms and stuff though, because I really like all of those. Yeah, and all of the little like seeds and things. So that was her in the beginning. She's actually a bit scary. Yeah. And on Lumpkin.
Oh, dear old Lumpkin. Oh, fell in love with Lumpkin.
Oh, he's a lovely old boy.
He's a survivor. That's what I like.
He is a survivor.
He's a survivor.
Yeah. Keeps coming back. Yeah. Yeah, so before, so I do rough images first. So this is what one of the pictures look like. So it's quite a scruffy, rough picture. And then I'll send that to the editor and they'll say like, oh, actually that insect looks not quite scary enough or something. Right. And then I'll change. And then I'll do a neater version in pencil.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. So much detail. It's just incredible.
I know, they're quite big. They're A3, so they're a lot bigger than the.
Yeah. Wow, all those illustrations from your nature books coming in handy there, I think.
I know, yeah.
Absolutely. I think one of the most eek moments with your illustrations is the one where Zombierella's pulling her guts out.
I love that, yeah.
And then there's brains coming out and all this kind of stuff. What was your absolute favourite moment in the book to illustrate?
Oh, I really like the bits of the fairy death. I thought she was just the best.
Oh, that's amazing.
And the wood lice living in Zombierella's feet. That
stays with you. That really stays with you. You're like buying more foot cream now, worrying that the wood lice.
I know. Like, can that happen in real life?
I know.
Not as far as I know.
All right. So it wasn't from personal experience, Joseph.
No. Although I do see the odd wood louse lurking about and wonder.
Yeah. So long.
Yeah.
So what's your process, Freya? How do you do? So you've shown us some like pencil sketches and drawings, but how does that sort of go from there to then the finished product in the book?
Yeah, so I'll like get a brief, which is the manuscript. I didn't bring one here with me, which will have the gaps where the pictures go. And then I'll lightbox that onto a piece of paper and fill it in. And basically I got quite a lot of freedom with this one because sometimes I'm told which parts of the text to illustrate, but with this one they were like, you can just go ahead, which was really exciting. I don't usually get that. I made a Pinterest board so I could have an idea of the sort of vibe and feeling of the book, because it is scary, but it's also quite beautiful. So I sort of wanted to have that gothic, kind of gross, but kind of beautiful vibe. Yeah.
It's still got the sort of the glamorous, sort of dreamy fairy tale quality to it, hasn't it? Even though it's
definitely.
It feels like a real sort of fairy tale Brothers Grimm, what they were originally, doesn't it? It's kind of harking back a bit to what the original fairy tales were like for children all those years.
Because in the original Cinderella, their toes are cut off, aren't they? To fit in slippers. You go a bit further.
Which I feel is kind of
now I've gone to legs being cut off and all sorts.
The whole way.
Adding on to that now, we can take more. We can take more. Joseph, like at the beginning of the book's introduced by the librarian, and he's really creepy. What was your librarian like? I hate to think, you know, your trips to the library when you were younger, did they bear any significance to the librarian in your books?
I've met nothing but lovely librarians. I have had a stint as a librarian. One of my first jobs was working in my local library in Wandsworth. And then when I was at uni, I worked at the British Library in rare books for a bit. So I think I'm probably thinking of myself rather than any of the wonderful librarians that I've met, who've all been really lovely and not at all creepy. But I know, especially like working in rare books where you've got old dusty books, that like the idea of kind of a librarian who works solely in this kind of back section where there are these old forgotten books was always kind of in the back of my mind. And then when it popped into my head one day that, oh, hang on, you could have stories that have been changed, that because they've been left and forgotten, they've actually become putrid, and the contents, the story has become gruesome. Then yeah, I just had to go full steam ahead with that. But yeah, I've visited lots and lots of libraries because I was joining a library in every county last year before kind of you know, things started to change. And I've got 70 libraries left to visit, but I've joined about 140.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I've got loads of library cards. It's been great, and I can't wait to be able to get back out and join the last 70 libraries. But it means I've got loads of kind of libraries in my head to draw from when thinking about the stories and how the library of Fairy Tales Gone Bad can continue on.
Well, I've never heard of library spotting before. I've heard of train spotting, but not library spotting. That's amazing. Yeah, brilliant. Oh, wow. So then that brings me on to what's happening with the Fairy Tales Gone Bad. Are we going to have more in the series? We hope so.
Yes. Book 2, Frankensteelskin, is written and is with you now, Freya, isn't it?
Yeah.
The illustration stage, but yeah, so it's like a take on Rumpelstiltskin, but it gets a bit gorier. There's no spinning of hay into gold. There's more, say, stitching. There's more stitching going on. Leave it at that.
Oh, that sounds so brilliant. When can we get this book into our hands, Joe? How long is it going to be till it's being published?
Next year, so it'll be out in 2021.
Oh, amazing. Oh,
around autumn, imagine. Yeah,
that's so brilliant. Now we've got some Halloween questions for you guys. Have you two got any favorite spooky stories from when you were growing up?
Favorite spooky? I've got a poem. My favorite kind of spooky poem is The Listeners by Walter, which is just so fantastic. It just, yeah, the narrator's voice just describes a traveller knocking on a door at night, and these beings on the other side that are listening. You don't know what they are. Just the narrator tells you there are these beings and they're listening and they don't answer. And it is one of the creepiest kind of poems. And I often go back to that because I just enjoy it so much, and I think the atmosphere of it is brilliant. So that'd be my favourite poem.
Oh, that sounds brilliant. How about Freya? Do you have any spooky stories from when you were little?
I loved, my grandpa read me and my brothers The Witches by Roald Dahl. Yeah. And he did all of the scary voices, and I remember I couldn't sleep for weeks after that. Just all the bald witches going to come in, and and Goosebumps. Do you remember those old with the like shiny covers? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's great.
The Choose Your Own Adventure books. There's quite a few where you would kind of
reading those. Yeah, Choose Your Own Adventures are brilliant.
Yeah, I remember one about a vampire castle. I think it's called Castle Vampire, and then I kept dying. I kept making decisions. But that was a great creepy story. Very similar to Goosebumps. Goosebumps is lovely.
Yeah, my dad actually illustrated lots of those Choose Your Own Adventure books.
Oh, wow.
He's an illustrator as well.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, that's amazing to find that out. Wow. And have you actually ever seen a zombie or a ghost?
Ooh.
Have you actually ever come across a ghost before? Have you done some ghost busting before, guys? Ever?
I haven't seen a zombie. I'm not sure if I saw a ghost. I think I remember like seeing something that I thought out the corner of my eyes, like, could that be? But this is when I was young and my nan had about 3 cats.
Oh.
I suspect it was probably a cat. And I was convinced that one of the cats could talk.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yes.
that's really spooky in itself, a talking cat. I mean,
Yeah. She only said nice things.
Oh, that's okay then. That's okay. And did you guys ever dress up much at Halloween? Was it a really big part of your childhood? What did you do on Halloween?
I did. I dressed up as a black cat a lot. I think it was my fave.
Brilliant.
Great.
I didn't really dress up.
Oh.
I make things, like make big kind of collages and stuff, or do like make a guy. I used to make a guy at Halloween, which was good fun. But I can't remember last time I put face paint on.
You're looking pretty gruesome there, Joseph. Pretty gruesome.
Pretty, yeah. I've got some pictures of me dressed up as a tiger for Halloween.
Oh, look at you.
Oh.
That's amazing.
Pirate. It's too shiny, isn't it? And that's my brother. My brother's not so sure about that, I don't think.
Oh, you look amazing. Oh, that's good. Right, well, I think we're coming to the end of our Q&A now. If everyone would like to get their pens and pencils ready and some paper, then we are going to be going over to Freya, who is...
I'm just going to set up my thing.
And set herself up, ready to show us how to draw something from Zombierella. Oh. And so no more Halloween stories, Joe? Nothing else? No bumps in the night you can think of?
Well, I remember kind of really getting excited for Halloween. And one thing I remember doing a lot at school was like we'd often do kind of Halloween poems on the run up to Halloween, which was great fun. And you know, I've got quite a sweet tooth. So the idea of having a time in the year where you know, as well as Easter, where
chocolate sweets.
Yeah, it's great. I'm a sucker for those jelly sweets. And the other day, actually, I saw some like jellied brains and jellied hands and things that you can get. So I think this Halloween I might have to get some of those.
Yeah, I think you can get these skulls where if you squidge them, then the eyes pop out. Like blood comes out the mouth. Yeah, they're pretty gruesome sweets, actually. Pretty gruesome. But I'm sure they taste absolutely delicious, like you're saying, and one should overindulge at Halloween, of course.
Yeah.
Right, it looks like Freya is pretty much ready. So
thanks,
guys. Thanks for answering.
It's quite far away from the paper. I should have thought.
It's pretty good, Freya. Looks pretty good to us here.
Does that look all right? You can see that it's not too dark.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be great.
Okay.
Hand it to you, Freya.
Cool. Has everyone got their pencils ready? This is what I use, and this is actually what I used to draw the whole of the Zombierella book with. Look, it's not very fancy, is it? That's a very dirty rubber. So I'm going to draw Zombierella because she's the main character. Okay, it's always best to start with the head. So Zombierella's got quite a little head, with a little pointy chin. Just like that. Can everyone see that?
Yeah.
And she's got a really long neck, so 2 long lines down from the bottom like that. Little line for the shoulders. And now for her body, I just do sort of like a wonky long triangle. It's very pointy at the bottom because her horrible fake stepmother never feeds her enough. So she's very skinny. And her gown is just 2 long lines with a big flick at the end like that. I think I'll draw her hands on hips. She's got scrawny little weedy arms. And you know, I'm actually not that good at drawing hands. I was just all kind of little flappy hands. Let's do the other one down there. Like that. And now for her face, she's got 2 little almondy shaped eyes. I hope you can see that. My camera's quite far away. And a little nose. And some little lips at the bottom. Should I hold it up? I feel like. And some good, I think she's got quite bushy eyebrows actually. It's good to have good strong eyebrows. And some quite decently big ears as well. And now, oh, I've got to draw, yeah, the little extra. So she's got some oak leaves coming off her dress here. And her little locket that has her mother's ashes in it, that's shaped like a skull. It just comes off there. And some a mushroom brooch. Has 3 mushrooms on. And now this is a fun bit. So if you get your pencil, and if you just turn it on its side, so you get the kind of shady bit. And her hair is always was the funnest thing to draw. So you just shade in lots of scribbles that are just coming out from her head. And if you just see. Yeah, you just go really, really wild. And usually I take quite a long time on her hair, but we don't. You might get a bit bored of watching me scribbling for hours on end. Lots of squiggles. I like drawing one of the fake sister's hairdos because she had such long hair, and she would drag it around and get rats and insects and stuff caught in it and all the yucky stuff. But I think Zombierella's hair is actually quite clean, even though it looks quite messy. And she's got a little fascinator thing here that's made of oak leaves and little leaves here. And then her dress has got lots and lots of different types of leaves. So you've got some beech leaves, some maple leaves. Just get all the different kinds of shapes in there. Actually, if you use the side of your pencil to just do some shading to speed up the leaf drawing. And at the bottom of her dress, she's got these sort of little branches, which is quite nice. And I'll just go over some of the lines so that she stands out a bit more. And yeah, I think that's done.
Yeah.
That looks beautiful, Freya.
That looks amazing.
Oh, thank you. I feel like I'm a bit nervous, so sort of like shaking.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Come on, Joseph, let's see yours. Come on.
Okay.
Oh, great.
Oh,
You could have illustrated it.
that's super. Well, it's my one.
Oh, they look great.
It's so broken down though, like when you go through the stages, but I know if I tried to do it by myself, there's no way.
No, me neither.
Oh, no, I think I might have done it too quickly as well. She needs shaded hair. Okay. Is it okay? Was that? Did I do it too quickly?
That's amazing. Well, I was wondering, because you've got a couple more minutes, Freya. I was wondering whether you might be able to draw the little pussycat.
Yeah, should I draw the cat? Okay.
Yeah, cool. I think the kids would love that.
Draw the little cat on this giant piece of paper because there's all. So the cat was actually based on my own cat at home. He's called Katsu. He looks just like this cat because he's really grumpy. My cat. But he's in all in one piece. He's not cut into three. So yeah, grumpy cat. I'll try and draw this a bit bigger actually. So you get some cat ears. And a nice round face. And I just draw this cat with like a kind of grumpy little monobrow, so just draw a little line there. And he's got sort of grumpy looking eyes. Little triangle nose. And a very sad mouth. And some droopy whiskers that are kind of. And because his head's been chopped off, he's just got a little bone sticking out here. And if you draw a sort of sideways circle here, with the other bone that's kind of like that. So technically they could lock together, but I don't know if that would actually work. And then a little curvy line there. And two paws. And yeah, because he's a ghost, he's got sort of like wavy ghost lines here. And the line like this. And wavy bits. And because he's a ghost, you can see through him, so you can draw the bone in on the inside slightly. And the other side of that. And another bone sticking out here. Another little sideways circle. A little connecting bone. He's lined for his tail. With all the ghosty bits. His back legs. Oh, I forgot to put the wavy bits on. And draw his bones inside here. Actually, I think cats do have bones inside their tails, don't they? So I'll just draw. And yeah, shade him in a bit. And there he is, the poor, sad, dead. He's called Simpson, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, he's so cute, even though he's so grumpy that someone.
I know he's not happy about being chopped up with an axe, which is kind of fair
No.
enough, really, isn't it?
Well, he ran into it.
Yeah, we ran into it, yeah.
He ran into the, you know,
Oh,
silly Billy.
Oh, it wasn't his fault.
come on, Joe, let's have a reveal. Let's see you with your cat.
Here's my Simpson.
Brilliant.
Oh, so good. Oh.
who funnily enough was named after my childhood cat. So he's like an amalgamation of both our cats.
Oh, great. The best kind of cat.
Brilliant. There's mine. Ooh.
Oh, it's so good. Hooray.
So don't forget, everyone, if you have managed to get your drawings done today, we'd love to see them. So if you want to put them on social media and hashtag them Zombierella, then we'll be keeping an eye out for them, and we'd love to see them. It'd be absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much, Freya. That's just so lovely to do that draw along with you and to get to know the characters like that. It was just so
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, really thoroughly enjoyed that. Now we have got some super questions from our audience.
Oh,
Freya,
I'm just going to turn my thing around.
Yeah, no worries at all. Let me just have a look for the first one. Ava, who is 9, says, loved your book. What is your favourite fairy tale, Joseph?
Oh, that's so hard. That's such a fantastic question. I mean, well, I love Cinderella, obviously. I really like Little Red Riding Hood. That's one of my favorites, and Rapunzel as well, which I love. And being a keen gardener, when I discovered that Rapunzel is named after a lettuce. There's a lettuce called Rapunzel, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah, who knew? I don't think I've ever tried Rapunzel lettuce, but yeah. But yeah, so oh gosh, all of them. If I had to like have my all-time favorite, I think it would have to be Little Red Riding Hood, just because of you got the wolf and the dark forest and the woods. Yeah.
Are we going to see your favourite one in A Fairy's Tales Gone Bad at some point then, Joseph?
Yes, watch this space.
Just right, we have got another question here from Aisha, age 6. What other books have you written, Joseph?
I've written lots of poetry books and lots of picture books. So my first book was a poetry collection called Werewolf Club Rules, which actually I can show you. It's here. So that was my first poetry collection, and then I went on to write lots of picture books. So I write the Luna series, Luna Loves Library Day, and Luna Loves Art, which is out at the moment with Fiona Lumbers. I also wrote If All the World Were, which is another picture book with Alison Colpoys. So I write kind of lots of different types of books, poetry books, picture books, and also non-fiction books like How to Write Poems, which is all about writing poems.
Yeah, amazing.
That's a great question. Thank you.
Yeah. And how about you, Freya? What other books have you illustrated?
So I've recently just done a really big nature anthology called Slow Down, which is written by Rachel Williams, which I don't have a copy here, sadly. Yeah, but that's that was my first non-fiction thing. So that was lots of like little stories in nature that happen every day, which kind of fed into this because Zombierella is quite nature inspired, isn't it? And yeah, I've worked on a few picture books and more sort of black and white chapter illustrated books and things. Yeah.
That's amazing. I love Slow Down. We have it at home. It's so lovely to dip into with all the little stories and learning about
Oh,
nature.
thank you.
It's really beautiful. And what is your favorite Halloween creature from Lila, aged 8? Freya.
I drew one I was doing like a Halloween drawing competition challenge thing on Instagram, and I found one that was called a Tatzel worm, which is a cat and a worm mixed together to make a cool tat worm. That was fun.
That sounds great. How about
I
you?
think it's a
sorry, Freya, carry on.
I was gonna say I think it's a cryptid, sort of monsters that like urban monsters and stuff. So I think, yeah, I don't know.
How about you, Joe?
I really like zombies because I just, yeah. So zombies are up there, and pumpkins. I like little pumpkin scarecrow things like this dude here. Yeah. After
Brilliant. And I don't know who this question is from, but they would like to know, Joseph, have you always wanted to be a writer?
Oh, what a great question. No, I remember when I was in primary school, I wanted to be a marine biologist. So kind of studying creatures of the sea. And I was a little bit behind like some of my classmates in reading and writing. So I guess I never really saw myself as a writer. That changed as I got older and I kind of caught up with the other people in my class. But I had to work very hard, and with reading and writing and stuff. And then I just kind of fell in love with English and writing stories. And when I went to university, I studied archaeology, which is totally different. So that was digging up the past. And as part of my job, I'd be digging up skeletons and things, which is probably why I'm writing books like Zombierella now. But throughout that time, I was also writing poems just for myself, but then I started to perform them. And so the writing world, bit by bit, opened up to me as I performed more. I got more opportunities to write more. And then one day I realized, oh my gosh, I can actually be a writer. That can be my job. And it can be. And if there's any young people out there that are wondering, can it be a job? It can. Like writing, illustrating can absolutely be your job.
Yes.
That can be your living. It's great fun. You should do it.
Oh, that's lovely. Very encouraging. That's great. Felicity asks, what was the scariest, most gruesome bits that you both love to write and draw from the Zombierella book?
It's got to be the guts and the brains coming out.
I think that's my favorite to write as well. And when I first saw your illustrations for the guts and the brains, I was like, that's amazing, that's brilliant. So, yeah, if you haven't read the book yet, there's some guts and brains in there. So you've got that to look forward to. It's all good fun.
It's such good fun. And what Lily, age 9, asks, what will you both be doing for Halloween?
Ooh. Watching lots of scary films at home, I think.
Yeah, same here, definitely. Lots of scary films and writing some creepy stories and probably eating too many sweet things.
Yeah,
because I saw pumpkins in the shop, like chocolate pumpkins. I thought, well, I have to try it.
Yeah, definitely.
Halloween sweet taster. Ebony asks for both of you, if your job was something else, what would it be?
Ooh.
Freya, do you want to answer that first?
Yeah. I should have thought of this.
Alternative career. What would it be?
I think I would actually like to own a bookshop or something.
Oh, yeah.
Like a one. Because I really do. I like collecting lots of children's books and things. Yeah, it'd be great to own a children's bookshop. Or I think it would probably still be in books, even if I wasn't illustrating them.
Oh, that sounds lovely. How about you, Joe?
I'd probably be something in antiques. I can't pass like an antique shop or a charity shop without kind of looking for treasure. So it would probably be like an antiques dealer or a paleontologist, so digging up dinosaur bones.
Oh wow. Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
amazing. Like polar opposites, really. Wow. Going from some brass candlesticks to some bones of dinosaurs.
Yeah. Oh, I like old stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So Richard asks, how long have you both been writing or drawing from? Oh, it's a question from Isla, actually. Joseph, how long have you been writing for, would you say?
I've been writing, so I was writing at school. I remember writing poems in secondary school and then nervously going up to the other kids in my drama class, in my A-level theatre studies class, and being like, I wrote a poem, should we read it in our drama performance? And then being, what, you just wrote this just now? But yeah. So that was the beginning of it. And then after university, I started performing at Battersea Arts Centre in Wandsworth, where they had a regular poetry night. So it's been, how old am I now? About 20 years. Oh wow. I didn't realize how old I am. So yes, about 20 years writing.
How about you, Freya?
I mean, I've been drawing since I could like pick up a pencil, which is sort of the classic story. But yeah, like I say, my dad was an illustrator and my grandpa was an illustrator.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Your blood.
I say, well, he is. They both are. They both are still there. Yeah, my grandpa's John Vernon Lord, who did the giant jam sandwich, which some people know.
Of course. Wow.
Yeah, that's my gramps.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I've just been doing it forever, it feels like. There was a brief time when at school when I thought I wanted to be a fashion designer, but that didn't last very long. And then I was like, no, I don't really. I just want to do drawing.
Definitely some brilliant costume drawings there.
Yeah.
Henry, age 6, would love to know how long it took Joseph to write Zombierella, and Henry says that he loves Luna Loves Art.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you. It's lovely to hear. Zombierella, the first kind of draft came quite quickly, like within a couple of weeks. The first draft of the story, like once I had the idea, it just kind of flowed, and I was almost performing it as I was writing it. So I was just kind of at my computer, like spouting poetry and writing it down. But that was the first draft, and I must stress that I think most writers go through this. You might get a first draft of anything very quickly when the idea comes, and then you go back through it and you read through it again, and you're like, I need to change a few bits. So when your teachers make you redraft and write stuff out in neats and stuff, it's so important. And I had to redraft and edit Zombierella many, like countless times. There's loads of different versions, lots of chapters that didn't make it into the book, lots of chapters that changed, different beginnings, different ends. So that whole process would have taken months and months and months, possibly years. Yeah, it was a long time in the making of kind of going back and forth. But yeah, first draft 3 weeks, editing months and months.
Wow, that is fascinating. And Freya, how long? I'm interested to know how long the process for your illustrations. How long from sort of your first sketches and ideas right to the point where they're ready to be submitted, final submissions and things?
I think the deadline on them is about 7 months. But I'm not drawing. I'm not drawing like constantly throughout that. So probably around, I would say like 4 months or something of like actual drawing.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. They're so detailed. And the color is just amazing, just beautiful, really beautiful. It's such a really striking cover. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's
thank you.
Sparkly, and yeah, I just love it. It's just amazing. It's great to have in your bookshop, on your shelves. Very eye-catching, very good.
I know they are. Yeah, it's good to have some gold foil on the front, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely beautiful. Right, so we've actually come to the end of our questions, and actually we're pretty much spot on. It's almost 12 o'clock. So we hope that you have all had the most superb, spooky, fantastic time with the wonderful Joseph Coelho and the most amazing Freya Hartas today, celebrating the beautiful and zombie spectacularific Zombierella. And we hope that if you haven't bought it already, that you're going to now race out to the shops or go online and get one in the safest way possible, and enjoy reading it over your Halloween half term. And if you've already got it, probably you're going to read it again, I reckon, after having a great session like today. So we'd like to thank you all for joining us, and thank you very much to Walker Books and to Moon Lane for organising this and hosting it. And you've got until the end of October to get your copy of Zombierella from Moon Lane if you want to pick up one of the spooky pens and special stickers and bookmarks. And as I said as well, please remember to take pictures of your fabulous drawings. We would absolutely love to see them.
I'd love to see those.
Just use the hashtag Zombierella and we will find them. And also, if you've got any spooky poems that maybe you would like Joe to see, hashtag Zombierella as well, because I bet he would love to see if you've been inspired by his reading today, his performance. And that's it really. We have another event coming up on the 5th of November, Moon Lane with Walker Books, and that is a wonderful event with Maggie O'Farrell and Daniela Jaglenka-Terezzini for her new children's book, Where Snow Angels Go. So check out the Moon Lane website for that. And all that's left to say is have a spooky half term, and well done for dressing up. We love to see your photos as well of all your costumes, and we'll say bye-bye. So thank you so much, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.